Hey guys, this is Camfrey15. I am back at it with another video for you guys, and we are back for the last time of me saying this winter anime of 2021, Quintessential Quintuplets. Now, this episode was the season finale, and also, if you did not hear, way before this episode even came out, Quintessential Quintuplets has been confirmed for season 3, which I figured we would be getting a season 3 of this show. Now, it isn't specified if it is going to be the last or the final season, but it seems like from what the promotional poster looks like, it looks like it could be the final season because you have all the sisters in wedding dresses and stuff like that, which I'm guessing maybe that's going to be the season where they end off the series, and that's when we're going to be revealed who really is the person Futaro is going to marry. Now, this was the season finale, episode 12, man. It's just crazy, man. I watched Dr. Stone earlier. That was the final episode there. We got season 3 confirmation for Dr. Stone. For Dr. Stone fans, be happy about that too. It's just really crazy that all these... I'm just gonna say this. Winter anime of 2021 definitely was the best, one of the best, anime seasons we've gotten. I said fall anime of 2020 was really good. But this anime, winter of 2021, was like, when I mean phenomenally good, it was phenomenally good. A lot of sleepers in this season. And I don't know how spring of anime 2021 is going to look, but I think there's some shows that are going to be pretty good. Some shows I'm going to be like, I'll check out on my free time. But anyways, we're back with Quintessential Quintuplets. Obviously, this is Sisters Wars Part 2, the season finale. And obviously, where we last left off was the whole aspect of now, essentially Futaro finding about what Ichika did. And obviously, Miku doesn't want to face Futaro. So in this episode, we start off where we last left off last week, where it's Nino and Miku talking in the hotel room. Essentially, Nino's essentially telling Miku, listen, if you're not going to do much of anything, then fine. I guess you're going to just stay in here moping around. But Nino makes a good point. She's like, listen, it doesn't matter how you feel. I always saw you as a rival, regardless for Futaro's love and stuff like that. And, she's like, look, we're quintuplets. You're cute too. And essentially, it makes Miku remember the time when Miku actually cut Nino's hair. So we get a revelation that it was Miku that cut Nino's hair short. And essentially, that's when Miku said, you're cute and everything. So, yeah. Now, what happens in the next scene is we see Ichika again pretending to be Miku. And when I saw this scene again, I was like very, and I mean very mad and very heated, because I was like, this girl does not get it. I understand you like this guy, but good God, do you have to pretend to be your frickin' sister, for crying out loud? Essentially, she's talking about things in the past, about when Futaro was younger, messing around with Reina, just adventuring around Kyoto and everything and stuff like that. And eventually it comes to the point where they get to a gate, and essentially that's when Futaro's asking Ichika, pretending to be Miku, like, tell me how you truly feel and stuff like that. And essentially that's when Futaro eventually gets the wig, the Miku wig, takes it off, and Futaro's always knew from the jump that it was Ichika, because he's like, I found out quite out of the blue that, Miku would ask me some sort of question like that. And essentially, this is when Futaro gets really upset at Ichika, which, again, rightfully so. You should get mad because your friend, a person you would consider a friend, essentially lied to your face, pretending to be somebody else she's not, and stuff like that. And essentially, Ichika recalls a moment, that, but what about the time, we were playing cards and everything? And that's when Futaro's like, yo, just shut up. He's like, and at the same time, it's, raining too. He's like, look, let's go back to the hotel before we get sick. But the one thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to trust you. I can't, or he essentially says, I can't trust you right now because you've been lying to me and stuff like that. So that gets Ichika very sad. It was a very emotional scene, no lie, even though what Ichika did was wrong, and what Futaro, from his perspective, he did the right thing. Why should you why, after building a relationship with this person, why would you trust them after, everything they're doing? Essentially playing with your feelings, playing with your emotions and everything and stuff like that for essentially your own personal gain, So obviously that's the thing. Now, they go back to the hotel room. Obviously, Ichika's dealing with her thing. We eventually see a scene where Futaro comes in to the room because he's the class rep. He's checking in on them. He's like, listen, you guys have to attend this class meeting in like 30 minutes and stuff like that. What I found funny was Yotsuba was taking a shower. She walks out and then she sees Futaro and she's like, yep, no. And she closes it like right then and there and stuff like that. Miku kind of runs away and hides in the closet because she's afraid to face Futaro at the time being and stuff like that. And essentially, they leave, nothing happens. Now, what happens next is the sisters all get together and they're like, listen, one of the freaking, elective classes that are being put in groups, there's gonna be one group with Futaro. So we're all gonna, put down a group, letter at random. We don't know, and whoever gets it, is gonna have to deal with it, and they'll be with Futaro for the entire day and stuff like that. So they took it as the best way. Now, we all thought it'd be fair and square, but no. Ichika, after coming back to the hotel, overheard what group Futaro was gonna be, which was group E, and she wrote down E, and I'm like, here we go again. She's being freaking bad. And I'm like getting to the point where I'm actually starting to hate Ichika's character. I'm like, I can't believe the Quintessential Quintuplets did this. But they really actually made me hate a character so damn much because she's so greedy for Futaro and stuff like that. But the next day we see that it's actually Miku in Futaro's group because we get the revelation that Ichika did the nice thing in switching out papers, our group papers to Miku, which made Miku go into Futaro's group. And Futaro essentially knew what was going on. Miku knew what was going on, why Ichika did that for her and stuff like that. Now, first in this group, Futaro's trying to interact with Miku, but she keeps running away because she can't face him because everything that has happened, and she doesn't believe that Futaro likes her some sort of romantic type of way, essentially. But then that's when kind of the sisters kind of try to reassure her by wearing disguises and stuff like that. And that's when, you have Futaro and Miku wear nice kimonos. Miku looks very cute in her kimono. And essentially you just have them hanging out the day. And you make a mention, I think it was Nino that said it like, they look very freaking cute together, no lie. And it comes to a point where freaking Miku actually is like, she comes up from behind Futaro and she's like, I'm not letting you have her. I'm not going to let her have you and stuff like that, which then in turn results Futaro making Miku fall into, I guess, this little pond. We get another funny scene where Miku's trying to change and she actually gets Itsuki's, she gets the very adultish underwears, are aka a thong essentially, and essentially you have Miku like, what the hell is going on here, which I was literally laughing. Then it comes to a point in the end of the episode, near the end of the episode, where you have Futaro and Miku sitting here under like this umbrella type of thing, and they're essentially talking about, past things and stuff like that. And that's when Miku essentially starts, well, in the meantime, you have the Quintuplets, the other four sisters, essentially behind them in this like shed area, just listening in on this. And this is when you have Ichika essentially finally apologize for everything that she's done. And the fact that she even says like, look, I'm sorry guys, I took it too far. I let my feelings get the best of me. And I think going forward, we should not like take things personal because we're sisters and stuff like that. Essentially, she's saying, listen, let's handle this fair and square. Whoever he chooses, and we should just live with it. Let's not get to the point where we're actually being hostile to one another where it essentially affects our relationship as sisters and makes us hate each other for it. Which I really did like the scene because it goes to show that the sisters, again, really do love each other like sisters. They understood where they were coming from and what they did and the screw ups they made, and the fact that they were like willing to acknowledge, listen, I made a screw up because I was so damn selfish trying to make Futaro, like me. I did things that I probably now regret and stuff like that. So I did like that. Anyways, we come back to the Miku Futaro talk. Again, they have a talk. Miku sees the part of the bread which Yotsuba actually gave her, and that's when we get a nice little backstory of Futaro here as he's telling Miku, he's like, listen, my mom always used to bake and cook us, my family, bread, and we would always love it and stuff like that. Which is nice development for Futaro because we don't really know much about his mom and stuff like that. And essentially tells Miku, like, it made me think a little bit about her. Thanks for doing that and stuff like that. And that's when you have Miku essentially saying, like, you loved what I did. And essentially that's why she's like, I would love to know more about you. Like, I want you to know more about me. Stuff like that. And she's reminiscing over the things that they did in the day. She's like, I love the time we were doing this. I love the time we were on the bridge, yada, yada, yada. And then that's when she points at Futaro and she's like, and I love you as well. And I'm like, oh, Miku. I'm like, Miku confessed? Miku confessed to Futaro? Oh, shit. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But then it was kind of a dupe, even though she kind of still meant it. But she was like, I wasn't referring to you. I was referring to my sisters that were hiding in the shed back there. All the other quintuplets were like, how did you know? And stuff like that. And essentially, Miku's like, one, the bread gave it away. And then two, I could hear your voices and stuff like that. And essentially, Futaro was like, wait, so you don't love me like that? And essentially, Miku's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was kind of just a figure of speech. It's kind of a fake out so I can catch my sisters off guard. And then Futo's like, you are effing kidding me. He walks off because he's freaking pissed. He's like, how can you say that? I'm thinking you have feelings for me and you're just doing all this stuff. He walks off. We get Ichika apologizing to Miku about everything that happened. Obviously, Miku accepts her sister's apology and stuff like that. So the end of the episode, we kind of get a montage. Essentially, we find out who the stalking photo was. Then the person who was taking the pictures was the person in Futaro's group, which is a freaking coincidence. Don't ask me why he was doing that, but okay. Two, in the end of the episode, we see Futaro and Ichika finally, make up. Essentially, we have Ichika apologizing to Futaro for doing what she did. And essentially, Futaro apologizes. He's like, hey, look, I'm sorry for getting mad and saying that stuff. Now, Ichika essentially is like, man, please, don't get over it. And she's kind of playing it off like, she's like, don't tell me that now and stuff like that. You really know how to freaking be mean to a girl. And then she actually pulls him over. She gets closer and she kisses him on the cheek. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, at that point, I was like, oh, shit. Ichika kissed him on the cheek. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know how I feel because I'm triggered. It is what it is. But yeah, he's thinking about that kiss. Essentially what happens in the end of the episode, when they get back, he takes a picture, which is actually in the thumbnail. He takes a picture of the quintuplets just all sleeping on each other and stuff like that. Again, it cuts back to the church where it takes place in the future where Futaro is about to get wed to one of the sisters. And again, they're doing the whole I do vows and stuff like that. But you don't hear who the girl character's voice, so you don't know which, sister it is and stuff like that. And it goes into the whole thing about, well, you may now kiss the bride. And we get a flashback to, a period of time where it looks like it seems to be Itsuki running up to Futaro. It was Itsuki who kind of pushes him down. He pulls the bell, essentially saying, like, that was when I knew I fell for her. Essentially, from that, what the sub said. And it's led to be inclined that Itsuki and Futaro kissed each other on the lips, and he supposedly fell for Itsuki. Now, the one thing about this season, I will say is, and then too, you cut over to one more flash before the wedding scene. They kind of undeal the veil a bit, unshow the veil. You see a nice little earring piece, but most girls wear earrings during a wedding scene. So to people saying that could be like Ichika too, because it looked like the similar earrings Ichika wears. Most women wear earrings on their wedding days and stuff like that. Again, and that's when they kind of cut off. And yeah, that's the end. And we have to wait for whenever season 3 comes out to see what the next story is. Again, like I said, I don't know if season 3 is going to be the final season. They did not confirm that. They just said we're going to get season 3. So season 3 is confirmed for Quintessential Quintuplets. Whenever that comes out, I'll more than likely, if I'm still doing this YouTube stuff, I'll plan on reviewing it, and stuff like that. But like I was saying, the one thing about the season was misdirection. And the whole thing is, we saw the past sisters. And I forgot to mention, Itsuki actually brings up to Yotsuba about telling Futaro about that was her younger her. And two, we actually see that when Ichika was playing cards, because we see that younger Futaro actually went over to stay at the hotel the sisters were at when they were younger, and he was just chilling in the room just waiting for his teachers to find them. And we see that it was actually Ichika, younger Ichika, playing cards with Futaro. So that was the one thing that Ichika did say that was not a lie. She just didn't tell Futaro. But as I was saying with Yotsuba, Itsuki brings up the mention of the fact like, hey, you know, aren't you gonna tell Futaro that was actually you that you spent the entire day with? Essentially, Yotsuba's like, it doesn't matter. He doesn't need to know. So obviously, it seems like, you know, Yotsuba, even though it feels like to me, Yotsuba has feelings for Futaro. She's vehemently like trying to hide those feelings out of all the sisters who's kind of been expressive in terms of their feelings for Futaro. She's been the one sister that's kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna be passive and things like that. So I don't know if they're, again, I think I said it a few episodes ago when they focus on her. I don't know if they're making it seem like Yotsuba's going to probably end up being the winner because she's gonna be, I'm guessing it's because, you know, she's not the sister that is focused on the most, and the sister that, you know, you would say has feelings for Futaro. She just is not willing to accept it. She's being unselfish and trying to have her sisters go after him. In reality, it's kind of eating her up. Now, we have not really had that type of development with her yet in terms of her internal feelings towards Futaro. Maybe they'll bring that up in season 3. That's my guess. And it seems like they're gonna go with the whole, oh, you think one of the 4 sisters gonna get him, but reality it's probably gonna be Yotsuba that ends up with Futaro because she's the one odd sister out that has not been very avid about showing off her feelings toward Futaro. Like, she treats Futaro as a friend. Again, like I said, maybe next season we'll go into the whole fact that Yotsuba's hiding the feelings he has for him, and it's gonna be a matter of time before she tells him, like, I really like you. Now, again, like I said, the whole Itsuki potentially kissing Futaro. This season has been about misdirections. The 5 sisters, when they were younger, looked like each other. Do not forget that one episode back in like the middle of the season when they went to that nice little area in Kyoto, and essentially, you know, that was the episodes when Futaro stayed at the end where their grandpa was in charge of. We all remember all the sisters were wearing having Itsuki, what is it? I guess you could say Itsuki disguises. All of them were having the same exact hair as Itsuki. So we can't really say that was the real Itsuki that kissed him. That could be, for ballsy's sake, that could have actually been freaking Ichika or Nino, or one of the other sisters, Miku or Yotsuba, that was just wearing the wig of Itsuki and accidentally just kisses him. So obviously that's going to be the leading mystery that is gonna probably need to be solved. But other than that, it was a good episode. I very much enjoyed it. I cannot wait for season 3 of Quintessential Quintuplets. And yeah, but other than that, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this episode as well as your thoughts on season 2. My thoughts on season 2 is I personally like season 2 much better than season 1. from what I can remember. Season 1 was kind of just the introduction to each of the sisters, but season 2 here, what is it? Season 2 here really did feel like, you know, it felt like you have the sisters essentially just be developed and being more expressive with their feelings. And I guess season 3, if it's gonna follow the route of, I guess, My Teen Romantic Comedy, which I did like that series, if they're just gonna have 3 seasons, that's fine by me. But I really did like the development they gave to all the sisters, all the characters, and most of the focus on them. They had episodes where it was focused on one sister and then continue another story point. So yeah, that's kind of it. Again, put in the comment section your thoughts on season 2. Again, do not post spoilers to the future of Quintessential Quintuplets, because I do not want to get spoiled, because I know the manga is over, and despite how people feel, like, only thing I hear is people want an anime original ending. And typically, that's not how anime does business. Anime always copies off what the manga does. Regardless, they may give the story its own little flair in the midpoints, but at the end of the day, it's always gonna follow what the manga is and what it's adapting of the manga. So I don't really believe that, because I think the same thing was with Food Wars. People wanted a different ending for Food Wars because the manga didn't end the way they wanted it to. I highly doubt if that was the case for Food Wars, it's going to be the same exact case for Quintessential Quintuplets. So if you're a manga reader, checking out and watching the anime, hoping that there's going to be a different ending, I'm just going to tell you, don't get your hopes up, because if that was the case, there would be many, and I mean many, animes in the past that have already ended, have its own original ending. For example, Hunter x Hunter has been on like freaking hiatus for years. If that's the case, the animation studio who did the most recent Hunter x Hunter anime, they would have just did the one arc that is in the manga that they haven't adapted, and they would have just continued making more content despite the author's wishes, and they would have made their own original ending, and stuff like that. The only anime that I can recall that had different anime stuff but had a similar ending was definitely Dragon Ball Super. If you look at Dragon Ball Super up to the Tournament of Power compared to the manga, the way they told their stories were the same, but some cases they had differences and sometimes different endings. But at the same point, still in Dragon Ball Super, the ending for the manga and the anime are still the same in terms of Goku beats Jiren and Universe 7 is not erased and stuff like that. So again, do not get your hopes up that for Quintessential Quintuplets, we're going to get an original anime ending, because the studio is only just going to adapt what you get from the manga. That would be nice for them to do if they wanted to switch it up, but I highly doubt it is. So whoever, I guess, won in the manga, you're probably going to be seeing them win in the manga in the anime, as much as to people's chagrins. But that's all I got to say. Again, hit that subscribe button for anything anime related to the channel. I know I am going to be reviewing My Hero Academia Season 5 this upcoming weekend, so if you're interested and you like My Hero Academia and you're an anime original for My Hero, unless you read the manga, you can check out My Hero. I'm also going to be reviewing Eden Zero whenever that comes out. I know that's coming out on Netflix, so hopefully it's a weekly thing. And I'm going to check out some other spring animes. If I'm interested in them, I'll probably talk about them, but we'll see. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for supporting my thoughts on the Quintessential Quintuplets review. If you're watching this video for the first time, this is my season finale for the first time, you want to get my thoughts on all the other episodes leading up to this episode, I'll leave a playlist at the end of the video so you can check out my thoughts on each of the other episodes. But I thought season 2 was a great season. I can't wait to see more of the Quintessential Quintuplets. Other than that, guys, thank you for being on this ride with this show for me. And again, if I see you for the next season for any of the other animes I watch in spring of anime 2021, I'll see you guys then. Other than that, I guess I'll see you guys the next time Quintessential Quintuplets comes back into the spotlight. So till then, guys, take care, and thank you again for supporting me throughout this run of Quintessential Quintuplets Season 2. Take care, guys, and be safe up there. Peace.